I said to all of you viewers of Equinoxe Television, 6 p.m. in Douala. It's time for the news. Thank you so much for joining us. Our major stories tonight: insecurity in the southwest and northwest regions continues despite relative calm witnessed by the local population lately. In Kambe, in the Ndunga Mantung division, separatist fighters burnt down over 12 motorcycles. They say the riders disrespected the traditional ghost town on Monday, that was yesterday. Meanwhile, in Kumba, the local population was terrified by gunshots in some neighborhoods. And violent actions take center stage among Cameroonians lately. A young guy who was accused of killing his own mom packed her corpse in a bag and dumped at the riverside in Yaoundé has finally confessed to his crime. You will watch the replay of that horrible scene in this edition of the news. Those are our major stories. Details when we come back. Welcome back, viewers. Despite relative calm witnessed by some inhabitants of the northwest and the southwest regions, insecurity continues. An ATF armed separatist group from the Bui division has claimed responsibility for the abduction of 2 individuals and the burning of about 13 motorcycles in the Njab village in the Ndunga Mantung division of the northwest region of Cameroon. In an amateur propaganda video, the armed group says that they came to the division to impose the respect of ghost towns and the fight against those they call blacklegs. The attack took place at about 10 a.m. that was yesterday, as the former Armstrong Sander tells us in the report which comes up next.
This amateur propaganda video, 13 motorcycles are being burnt by armed separatist fighters. We are at Dengi Junction in Jap village in Kambe Central subdivision of the Ndunga Mantung division in the northwest region of Cameroon. Local sources say that the armed individuals stormed the area in the night of Monday, April 15, 2024. They mounted a control post at Dengi Junction, some 16 kilometers away from the main town Kambe and few kilometers away from the regular army control post, where they intercepted and seized motorcycles of commercial motorbike riders traveling between Jab, Tabiken villages and Kambe town. Riders and passengers were asked to sit on the other side of the road while they lit fire to their bikes at gunpoint. 13 out of the total 17 bikes were burnt, while 4 others were taken away. 2 other persons were also kidnapped by the armed individuals. In one of the videos, the armed individuals identified themselves as soldiers of the Bui ADF who came to fight against those they called blacklegs in Kambe. In Kumba, in the Meme division of the southwest region of Cameroon, administrative and municipal authorities descended heavily and mercilessly on businesses and business premises which were not open on Monday. While closed shops were sealed, tables of businesses and business owners who didn't show up on Monday were destroyed. Commercial bike riders who came out to secure their pass for the week returned home immediately after collecting their pass, advancing fears as reasons. The majority of Kumba city dwellers say that the gunshots which were heard in the early hours of the day across the city largely contributed to the dull atmosphere.
Now on to this other human interest story. A 25-year-old girl has been stabbed to death by her boyfriend who accused her of infidelity. According to family members of the victim, both had been having a love affair or dating for a month, and the man claimed to have bought a phone and some sweet drinks for the girls as was on the day of the feast of the Ramadan. The accused is presently in police detention, while Yaoundé, a 16-year-old boy, is presently receiving medical attention after he was severely beaten by his own mom. Let's now have more with Mala Glory.
Lying in her own pool of blood, Miss Massa, as she is called, is a 25-year-old girl who is a victim of a love affair. She was stabbed to death by her 32-year-old lover, Tizen Demba, whom he accused of infidelity. As a result, he took out a knife and drove it through the lady's chest, where she died on the spot. The incident took place in the Orolawa neighborhood in the town of Garua, north region of the country. After the act, the murderer escaped, but thanks to the immediate intervention of gendarme officers, he was arrested. We caught him in an isolated building. That was how we took him out and protected him from the angry population. We later questioned him on his act, which he confessed it was out of anger and the fact that the parents to the girl have been contributing to the girl's lies. According to the brother to the young girl, the two have been dating for a month. What I know is that the man once said he bought her a phone and also bought her some juice during the feast of the Ramadan. The killer has been detained at the Pumpomre Gendarmerie Brigade for further investigations. Away from that, a 16-year-old Onana Noir Roger who received snake beatings from his father in the Tukebe neighborhood, Yaoundé. He is accused of stealing the sum of 500 francs and for being heady to his parents. I returned home at 10 p.m. I was scared, not because of the 500 francs I stole, but because of what I know my father would do. He was uncontrollably beaten. The child sustained injuries and sources say he was later taken to the hospital for treatment.
And 4 of the members of a vigilante group that beat up the ruler of Bonganjo village, Chief Litake Muwanga Mbua in Mutengene, have been apprehended by forces of law and order in the Tiko subdivision. The arrest comes after a surprise visit to the Bonganjo village by the senior divisional officer of the FACO division, Viang Mikala, who before leaving gave instructions that the perpetrators of the act should be arrested and punished according to the law. Let's now have more with Smanjik and Gabriel.
In the absence of the chief of Buganjo village, His Royal Highness Litake Mwangambua, who is responding to treatment at the Boyo Regional Hospital after he was beaten by a vigilante group last weekend, the visit of Yang Mekala came when the people of Buganjo were furious and blamed the divisional officer for the current situation their village is passing through.
I am talking as a chairman of the Buganjo Traditional Council. This problem you see, sir, whatever thing you are trying to do, it will not work, sir, when the Dio is involved in it. He is a great snake in the green. Dio works with the other chiefs of the other villages. He even sends them to attend situations in Tapatong and the rest and calls them Chief of Mbenga 1. Go there. But when he comes to the Chief of Bunganjo, he says, there is no chief. The chief's precarious condition was caused by the opening of a road in the village, which was in the order of Chief Litake Mwangambua.
The people who have caused the situation when we are gathered here, they are not here. Yes, it is the council that sent that machine through a contractor to open this road. It was not the chief of Bunganjo.
Notwithstanding the peace mission led by the senior divisional officer of FACO, the fear factor wasn't totally gone.
At this particular level, the agitation right now, we cannot point who is agitating. But there are people still moving around and saying, this man beat the chief. And other people are saying that, okay, we are going to retaliate.
The senior divisional officer of FACO left this message to the people of Boganjo village.
Nothing should happen again. It is a type of confusion. All the agitators stop doing what they do. This is the reason why I came.
The visit of the senior divisional officer of FACO division to Boganjo, Viang Mekala, came after some members of a vigilante group beat up Chief Litake Mwangambua for allegedly bringing a bulldozer.
And now, do you remember the horrible story of a young man who was accused of killing his own mom, packed her corpse in a box and dumped beside a river in Yaoundé? He has finally confessed to his crime to security forces in the nation's political capital. Now let's watch a replay of that horrible incident in this report compiled by Immaculate Fogwe.
A It is in this house, located in the Damas neighborhood in Yaoundé, that 23-year-old Landry Yebel killed his mother, Civil Yebel. Reenacting the scene, he explains that after a heated dispute with his mother, he decided to suffocate her with a pillow. He later carried her lifeless body into a bathroom, butchered her into pieces, and later packaged her remains in 2 boxes. My mother paid me a visit, and upon her arrival, she discovered that the furniture she bought for me was not in my sitting room. She got so angry and began arguing with me. Out of anger, I pushed her on the bed and suffocated her to death with a pillow. According to Colonel Jean-Alain Dongo, commander of the Mfundi Territorial Gendarmerie, Landry Yebel, after carrying out the crime scene, decided to empty his mother's mobile money account. He withdrew now the 1,000 francs from her phone, bought a PlayStation, 2 phones. Later in the evening, he took his friends to club. At about midnight, he left his friends, headed home, and carried the 2 boxes containing his mother's deceased. Landry later dumped his mother's body at the Toameki stream, a neighborhood in Yaoundé, and later called his friend to displace his mother's car that was parked in front of his house. It should be noted that on the 13th of November 2023, Landry Yebel killed his grandmother, Mat Yebel, after a dispute. The 23-year-old, who claims he was possessed by an evil spirit, is now left to the guilt of having masterminded the death of his own mother and grandmother.
Now, after watching all the above reports, we can attest to the fact that verbal and physical abuse or violence remains a societal issue in Cameroon. Today, children, youths, and even adults are seen in the streets name-calling, insulting or ridiculing one another, putting aside moral values and other ethics or etiquette. This phenomenon, according to a social psychologist, Dr. Ita Fuda, results from poor parenting and the influence of social media. Lucy Liengu is here, tells us more.
In Cameroon, verbal abuse characterized by insults, intimidation, name-calling, amongst others, have become the order of the day. Moral values are gradually being eradicated from the Cameroonian society, as it is but normal to walk on the street and find people quarreling or insulting themselves. A social psychologist, Dr. Ita Fuda, blames the situation to lack of moral education and the negative impact of social media.
Il y a certainement cette habitude qu'on a eue à
We have the habit of saying whatsoever or rubbish to those around us without being corrected or punished,
sans que cela n'émeuve outre mesure la personne qu'on a devant soi.
When someone is verbally abused consistently, it can lead to a fight or physical violence.
Ces railleries peuvent tourner.
This can lead to a fight, mostly when someone is demanding some sort of sincerity.
Un niveau de sincérité.
And such harsh and obscene words can equally mislead children who try to copy what they have heard.
L'enfant qui grandit dans un environnement violent, par exemple, aura tendance à répercuter les mêmes comportements qu'il a subis.
To curb this phenomenon, which is affecting the society negatively, Dr. Ita Fuda advised parents to educate their children on respect and politeness.
Ne jamais perdre de vue la civilité. Apprendre à
Don't forget to be respectful, be polite to those around, despite the circumstance.
Dire des choses à plus petit que soi sous le fallacieux prétexte que c'est un inférieur, non.
Like the saying goes, a gentle answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger.
Very correct, there, Lucy. Over to the Northwest region. Amidst ongoing security challenges, top military officials have met in Bamenda for a crucial operational control and security evaluation meeting chaired by Major General René-Claude Zemeka, the Chief of Defense Staff. The gathering was aimed at fortifying strategies to effectively tackle evolving security challenges with the military region. Bull Stella tells us more from Bamenda.
The top military officials converged at the command post of the 5th Joint Military Region for a routine operational control and security evaluation meeting chaired by Major General René-Claude Zemeka, the Chief of Defense Staff. Brigadier General Buba Dobekrio, commander of the 5th Joint Military Region, presented an overview of the region's security status, emphasizing the dedication of the military personnel despite the challenging conditions they face on the ground with the armed conflict and other security threats.
The security in the northwest is under control. We have a good result since we are here in the northwest. Population continue to collaborate with us, give us information. That's why we have a positive result on the ground.
A significant highlight of the meeting was the unveiling of strategic orientations aimed at effectively addressing evolving security challenges and the approaching National Day of May 20th.
We need collaboration with the population. We need the population to give us the information targeted the terrorists on the ground.
The in-camera discussions in Bamenda centered on critical topics such as intelligence sharing and community engagement initiatives with the goal to cultivate a comprehensive security approach that resonates with the nation's aspiration for peace and the continuous safety of all citizens.
Thank you, Stella, for that report, which brings us to the end of the first part. The news talking points comes up next. Welcome back, viewers. Today we will be coming back to the chieftaincy saga and the violence which was meted on the chief of Boganjo village by some individuals of that same village. And our guest tonight is again Barrister Edward Lyonga Ewule, who was on the field with the senior divisional officer for the FACO. Barrister, thank you again for accepting to be our guest. Now, you were with the local authorities on the field after what happened in the Boganjo village. We know that the chief is still in hospital receiving medical attention. Now, while you were on the field, you were present, you spoke with some villagers. Can you tell us now briefly what you saw and what you heard, what happened?
And I'm very concerned about what is happening at a village called Boganjo, where the supposed chief Mbwa Letake was attacked by hoodlums. And some of the villagers have been complaining about these numerous attacks from these guys who are claiming to be a vigilante that were being put in place for security by the divisional officer for Tiko. He was brutalized. He's presently at the hospital, responding to treatment. And at this point, yesterday, Monday, was the senior divisional officer for FACO went to the site to see the situation for himself. And when he went there, the divisional officer for Tiko was present, the mayor of Tiko was present, and other administrative authorities were present. But the senior divisional officer message was a message of peace, was a message of love, and he did not take side. But if you listen keenly to the wordings of the mayor of Tiko, Chief Mesoso, he said, among other things, that it was not Chimbwa Litake who sent the caterpillar to open road, that it was a council project. And some people thought that it was the chief, and they went on to attack him. They attacked him to the point of death. They attacked the chief, and if you listen to the other villagers there, they are saying that there is a serious attack. It's a serious attack as far as those guys are concerned. So what is happening is that the DO, the senior divisional officer for FACO, is trying by all possible means to make sure that peace return to the area. But investigations are going to be open, because some of us have said, among other things, that we are going to make sure that justice is done.
Now, Barrister, whenever there is assault, physically there is a human right violation. We saw the contested chief of Boganjo being manhandled. As a legal mind or as a lawyer, what are some of the rights violations you took note of while in the Boganjo village?
the supposed chief of Bonganjo village, Mbua Litake, was malhandled. There was first of all invasion of residents. His residence was invaded. There was destruction of his property. He destroyed his property in his house, carried him out of his house to a nearby bush, and there was an attempt of murder on his life. And I even say it's an attempt of capital murder under section 275 and 276. There was assault and many other issues that will be brought on at the course of investigation. But I think that what we are trying to say and what we want our televiewers to appreciate is that Cameroon is a state of law. And so individuals cannot take laws into their hands. They go into people's houses, break into their houses, they are not forces of law and order, beat them up, break their bones, and think that they can carry those individuals to the police station. And that's exactly what they did. But we are saying that all those people should know that the law is going to take its course. I hear that some administrative authorities are the ones supporting these individuals to carry out what is happening in the village of Bonganjo. But they should know that when the time is going to come, all of them are going to face the wrath of the law. The Minister of Justice, I am going to write a letter to him. I'm going to write a letter to the Presidency of the Republic. We need peace in the region. We are trying to make sure that the separatists are no longer disturbing people in the region. There is some level of calmness. But we see that some individuals don't want the peace that we are enjoying in this region. And those individuals, the justice is going to take its course. So what we are saying is that we condemn in the strongest term the attack on the chief of Bonganjo. And we say that justice is going to take its course.
Barrister Edward, the chief is hospitalized. Some people have been arrested. Villagers are angry because of a misunderstanding. Is it misinformation? Or you can even call it lack of communication. Like I said, you're a legal mind, you're a lawyer. What you want is peace and a proper settlement. What do you think is a way forward so as to bring back peace to that village, to reduce violence in that village?
First of all, I want to state here that this action on Sunday, it was not the action of villagers. It was a group of people who call themselves vigilante. It is not the actions of villagers. Villagers, if you follow up what happened when the senior divisional officer of FACO went to visit the crisis area, all the villagers came out and all the villagers are with their supposed chief. I am not into the chieftaincy issue. I am a human rights lawyer. I am coming into this case because a right of a person has been violated. Somebody's house has been invaded. He has been beaten off, paraded on the street, and up till now, nobody has been arrested. And that is why I am coming in as a human rights lawyer. What is happening is that the action was not from the entire village. The village just did not go and attack the chief. It was a group of these people, they call themselves vigilante group. They went there, attacked the villagers just came to watch, to see what was happening, and to follow to see what they were going to do to their chief, their supposed chief. They were holding machetes, they were holding cutlass, they were holding sticks and other weapons. So the villagers were just there to see that this chief or this person is protected. If you listen to the chairman of the council, he himself has stated that. So it was not the villagers. The way forward is that justice is going to take its course, and those individuals are going to be brought to book and are going to be prosecuted, and the senior division officer of FACO is going to put order in that place.
Hopefully the chief recovers, justice takes its course, and peace comes back to the Bunganjo village. Thank you again, Barrister, for accepting to be our guest and talking point tonight. Viewers, thank you so much for being with us. Don't go away, our programs continue. Equinoxe comes up at 7 p.m. and the news in the French language comes up at 8 p.m. Stay with us on Equinoxe Television. Bye-bye for now.